It's the Kyle Hyman Show on Redeemer Radio.
This is Kyle Hyman, and joining us is the creative director over at Cardinal Studios who helped put together the Strive program, which we're going to talk about. Chris Cope, thanks for being here.
Thanks, Kyle. Great to be here.
So you've done a bunch of these educational series, and what is the most interesting thing that you've learned from one of these programs?
Oh, wow. That's a big question. I guess the most interesting thing I've learned is that you never have it all under control. And so there's been so many zigs and zags over the years, whether it's like police in Rome or, trying to make it to the top of a mountain in Israel. It's always an adventure, but God is always there. And somehow at the end of the day, you sit around and look at each other and go, wow, that actually worked. It's always a fun time.
Uh-huh. So the videos, at least the programs that you've been doing lately have been very video intensive. So why do you choose to use video, or why do you think that's an effective way of educating?
I think video coupled with story, we're just so hardwired for story, and video is a very effective means to deliver a short, concise message that someone can act on. Anything we do, it's very intentionally, whatever message it is, roughly 3 to 5 minutes. It's crafted so someone can, receive a very practical tip or advice or story, and then be given the tools, within that to implement whatever the challenge may be in their life that day. So, plus, the people that we've been working with, like Chris Stefanik and Matt Fradd and Bill Donahue, these guys are just incredible at, breaking down what you really actually need to know and delivering it in a very interesting manner.
Mm-hmm. We talked with Matt Fradd back in episode 646 about the Strive program, strive21.com. And what was the process for putting together the program, the creative process for you?
Sure. I guess about a year ago, Matt and I were talking, and he speaks, he's all over the place. He speaks to tens of thousands of people every year. He's online on several different channels. But he said, look, I don't have anywhere to send people, to really equip them with a plan to break free from pornography. I'm always talking about it. I send people to a book or a website, but there's really no plan. And he had seen what we had done with Rise, with Chris Stefanik. And I said, look, let's put together a concise, 21-day challenge that's not overwhelming. It really just equips guys with everything they need to be on the path to recovery. So it's, we started looking at, and he's the expert on this. We brought in Bill Donahue from the Theology Body Institute, Dr. Kevin Kilcawley, who's a clinical psychiatrist from out in Iowa, and really just looked at, okay, what does a man need from a spiritual standpoint, psychological standpoint, looking at brain science, what does he need to really understand the breadth of what it takes to break free from pornography? Because we know men are at all various levels of pornography usage and addiction. And so we wanted to create something that said, look, for no matter where you're beginning here, these are the things that you must have in place to break free. So it was really a process of Matt putting together the outline of, topics that he would want to cover. And then on our side, on the Cardinal side, with Bill Donahue and Dr. Kilcawley, looking at that and sort of crafting the path that the men would take.
So are you having a lot of input over content or the design of it, or how people go through the program?
Personally, I would be looking more at what's being said and how is it being said, and how would it be received, by the viewer, what the brand is, the overall experience, the user experience online, or how it looks and feels. So Matt Fradd is the content expert, obviously Dr. Kevin Kilcawley and Bill Donahue as well. So it's really, we come together as a team. And I think the way it works best is that these guys know their stuff. They really are brilliant. But it takes a lot of crafting to boil that down to the necessities of what needs to be said and then how it should be said. So it's really a good sort of marriage of what we can do on our side and what they can do and to have a finished product. So then obviously there's the whole, user interface and the delivery of it, which is what Cardinal does as well. Just making sure everything works, the guys have a great experience, and then building the community out, which has been really one of the most powerful parts of this, making sure that the community is working and guys can be interacting in the online forum.
Yeah. So before we get to the community part, it's a 21-day program. Are there 21 videos that go along with that then?
Yeah, there's actually 22 because there's sort of a sending off day. But there's 21 videos that are short, and underneath each video, and it comes whatever device you're on, your computer, phone, iPad. It's dynamic, so it's sent out to you each day. And there's a short video. There's a short piece of content that sort of wraps everything up, and that includes a challenge. So there's something very specific you do each day. We didn't want this to be an academic exercise learning about the problems with porn. There's plenty of stuff out there that talks about the problems of pornography. This is how do you personally build a plan to break free from pornography or lust in your life. Mm-hmm. So every day some of the days there's downloads and there are actually worksheets that you fill out but really there's that specific challenge that you complete based on your state in life, whether you're single or married, whatever it is, you have something that you can do.
And then the community itself, what is it, just one giant conversation, or is there a way that you break down and have smaller conversations about different issues?
Within each day, there is a commenting section where a lot of guys go back and forth. They'll post comments, you can reply, and that's where you see a lot of guys learning from each other, sharing their own experiences, things that have worked, things that haven't worked. It's also, there's guys coming in from all ages. We've got, we say it's for 18 and above because the topic is obviously mature and there's a lot of stuff being shared in the comments that are also, it's for a mature audience. But guys can really learn from each other. You see a lot of young guys or older guys saying, look, I've been there, done that, hang in there. This is what's worked for me. This is what hasn't. So that's been a beautiful, beautiful thing that happens each day as the guys journey through. We're also developing, it's not released yet, but it's going to be released soon, hopefully within the next 4 to 6 weeks, this much more robust community where men can break into small groups. We would suggest roughly, 5 members, no more than probably 8 or 10, groups where guys can continue to journey. Because what you do in Strive is you build out a plan and you actually have to work that plan. And so you go through the days and you identify your triggers, for example, and you map those out. You identify the behavioral states where you're most likely to fall to pornography. You end up building over the course of a couple of days, you build a sobriety plan where you actually have to calendar those healthy behaviors that lead you away from pornography and towards the life that you want to live. And you identify those unhealthy behaviors that are in your life, like, just browsing social media or binging on Netflix or alcohol or whatever it is that you identify. This sort of leads me to acting out. Mm-hmm. You identify those as well, and you push those off the calendar. And so you figure out how do you build this plan. And then the idea is that you continue to work that plan in a small group. So men are able to continue to hold each other accountable, because we know that if you're not in a relationship, if you're not bringing this out into the light with another human being, if you're trying to go this on your own, it's destined to fail.
Yeah, we're talking with Chris Cope, who helped put together the Strive program. You can find it at strive21.com. And is this only for people that realize that they have a problem, that they have an addiction to pornography, or would this also be good for a casual viewer, somebody that doesn't think that they have a problem? Is there benefits there as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Because we would say, pornography is a very slippery slope, and men or anybody that engages pornography will quickly become bored and move further and further to more deviant forms of pornography. So even the very casual user, there's plenty of guys who came in and said, look, I'm just checking this out. I don't really think it's a problem. I use it infrequently, but I'm here. We help them see very quickly that it really is actually a very big problem, not just from a moral standpoint, obviously the sinful nature of engaging it, but what it does to you as a man, sapping you of your life and energy, turning you more and more inward on yourself versus becoming a self-gift for another and being the leader, the husband, the father, the brother that you're called to be. It really is for all men. So obviously, men who come in that are just occasionally looking at pornography or may feel like, I just kind of struggling with the lust a little bit here, it's extremely effective. There's many men like that. There are men that are very much addicted to pornography, and we say very clearly, Strive is not a silver bullet. You don't say that 21 days you're completely free from pornography and any temptation to lust. It really is this very hyper focus on the issue of pornography, why you turn to it in the first place, and building a plan to break free. So that plan it's a daily decision for the rest of your life that you're going to continue to open yourself to the grace of God first and foremost. That's the most critical part of all of this, allowing His healing grace to work in you. And then doing something about it from a spiritual and psychological standpoint, building your plan out, prayer, fasting, finding spiritual direction, getting therapy or into some sort of group counseling if that's needed. So it really is a powerful first step for any man, no matter where he is on the spectrum.
And I imagine with any of these kind of positive things in our life, we can come up with excuses not to do them. And one of the excuses might have been, well, I don't want to, give my credit card information and pay money for this program, and I can probably just do it myself. But now that's not even an issue because it's free. So can you talk about how that came to be, that this is now available free, and how people would get registered for this?
Sure. Yeah, we were charging $49 per registration, which we actually thought was a very good deal based on everything that you get in the program.
Sure.
And we came into a relationship with an underwriter who's subsidizing a portion of the costs for us. And so it's put us in a position where we can give Strive away for a limited time for free. So we're not sure how long that's going to last. We're hoping upwards of, several months to a year. But I would say that anybody who's interested at any level in getting this for yourself, or you can, if you know of a friend or husband, brother, whomever is struggling with pornography, just send them to strive21.com. You don't have to enter in not only credit card information, you don't have to enter any personally identifiable information except for your email address. So essentially, it works based on your email address. Everything is anonymous. We don't share information with any third party. Mm-hmm. And, guys can choose their username. So there's plenty of men in there that use their real name, but there's plenty of men that, choose Big Mike or, whatever name they want to go by. And you can journey for 21 days and take that first step that really wasn't available before. And if you had an issue with pornography before, you would either have to really sign up for counseling or a recovery program or show up at a group. This sort of fills that gap, and it's that first step that's free and anonymous.
All right. And again, people can check that out at strive21.com. Thank you so much, Chris Cope, for joining us. And people can check out Cardinal Studios also for you have links there to the RISE program that you did. But everything looks great, and I know this is a great resource. So thanks for putting it together and sharing it with us today.
Oh, thanks, Kyle. I appreciate the time this morning.
It's my pleasure. Again, you can check it out, strive21.com. You can check out our conversation with Matt Fradd about this same topic. That was episode 646. If you go to kylehyman.com, you can do a search for Fradd or Strive, and it'll pop right up there at kylehyman.com.